So what's going on, guys? DIY Dan here again, and this is another Mechanical Backroads Arizona video. In this video, I'm replacing the factory OEM halogen headlights on my 2000 Jeep Wrangler TJ. And while I was in the middle of this headlight swap, I realized that my pigtails going to those headlights needed replaced. So I went ahead and did that, and I'm going to explain how to do the adjustment on your headlight pattern. So let's get to it. So the reason for this headlight swap is obviously that LED headlights are much brighter and make it much easier to see at night than the factory OEM halogen ones. And you can see that by the video clips that are playing right now. Right before swapping out these headlights, we went for a little drive and I had my wife recording while I was driving. Then I swapped these headlights and did the exact same drive after we had replaced them. And you can see the difference is very noticeable with these video clips. Now, we are Amazon affiliates, and I will put the link to the headlights that I put on this Jeep TJ in my description if you want to get those coming. And even if you don't decide to go with these exact same headlights, the overall concept of changing out these headlights is going to be pretty much the same, no matter what brand you actually get. And that's even if you decide to go back with an original halogen headlight. Now, that being said, I don't really recommend going back with a halogen headlight if you end up burning one out, and there's a couple reasons for that. Obviously, how bright it is one. The other thing is halogen headlights pull a lot more amperage than LEDs and do create more heat and more drag on the actual battery or system of the vehicle. And I'm going to show you an example of that because I did end up replacing the pigtails that actually plug into the headlight on my Jeep TJ because there was signs of the heat that was taking place from those OEM halogen headlights. Now, if you do want to stick with the original look of the halogen OEM headlights, but upgrade to a brighter light, and that being an LED, I came across this setup on Amazon after I had already purchased the ones and installed them that I got. And I thought this was a pretty cool option. This is an actual glass housing that accepts a LED replaceable headlight bulb. And the reason that that's a pretty cool concept is it actually has a glass housing which won't dim, fade, or yellow over time after sitting in the sun. Because 99% of LED headlights that come as an all-in-one without a replaceable bulb do have a plastic lens. So if you do go this route, the ones that I purchased actually said they are anti-yellowing lenses. So hopefully I won't have that issue with the ones I purchased. But this is a common problem with this style of headlight bulb, especially if you're parking outside all the time, which is another reason I don't think I'll have that problem with the ones I got because the vehicle is parked in the garage 99% of the time. So that's my little spiel on why I actually replaced them, other options you might have, and whether I actually liked them or not, which I do think they are much brighter and give me a lot more visibility at night. Now let's get to installing these headlights. So one thing that I think is a good idea to do before changing out a set of headlights, and what I mean by that is you're not just changing out the bulb, you are changing out the whole headlight lens assembly, is pull your vehicle while it's dark outside up against a wall. In this case, I'm using my garage door, and turn on your headlights and make sure that your headlights are pointed in a good direction. They're not up too high where you're looking at the sky, they're not too low where you're not seeing far enough distance, and they're not pitched off to one side or the other, where they might be blinding the person in the opposing traffic next to you. And the reason I say to do this is make sure your headlights are pointed in a good direction because there is adjustments for these headlights. And a good time to do this adjustment is when you are swapping out these headlights. Now, like I said, this isn't absolutely necessary to do it before. I just think it's a good idea to have a before and after aspect as far as what it was looking like. So the first thing you will need to do in order to change out these headlights is remove the headlight bezel. Using a T15 Torx bit on my ratcheting screwdriver, I removed the 3 screws that held the headlight bezel to the vehicle. Next, I went to remove the 4 screws that hold the headlight ring to the vehicle in order to remove the headlight. That, once again, is using that T15 Torx bit. However, I could not fit my ratcheting screwdriver because the grill was too close to the headlight. So I did have to switch out to a regular Torx screwdriver that was skinny enough to remove those screws. And there is a total of 4 of those screws holding the ring in place. Once the headlight ring is off, then you need to simply pull the bulb out from the vehicle and just pull on the pigtail carefully to remove it from the back of the headlight. Now, because my headlight bezels that were in this Jeep were faded out because they were the original and this thing's over 20 years old, I decided to paint both headlight bezels to give them a new look along with the headlights. So right here I'm removing the driver's side headlight as well, which does have a little better view of me removing the headlight ring. Then I used some Scotch-Brite pads to sand down those headlight bezels to get them ready for paint. And I just ended up using some satin black spray paint to touch these up. And basically I got these painted so they could dry while I was doing the rest of the installation. So the headlights that I got were basically a plug and play. However, when I went to plug them in, I realized that my pigtails off of the vehicle harness were showing signs that they had gotten hot and were starting to crack. So at that point, I decided to replace those pigtail ends so I didn't have any future problems. So right here, I'm just removing the protective sheathing back a little bit from the wires so I can do a clean cut past where the wires were cracking in order to install the new pigtail end. Now the cool thing about this is the headlights actually came with some adapters. So all I had to do was cut off the one side of the adapter harness and wire it straight to the wiring harness of the vehicle. So if the headlights you ended up getting did not come with that adapter harness, I will put a pigtail end kit in my description in case you need to get that coming. Before going to do this repair, make sure your headlights are in the off position so you don't short something out while you're trying to do this repair. You can also disconnect the battery, but that's not really necessary as long as your headlights are off. I pulled the harness through the back of the headlight and pulled it out to the side to make it easier to work on. Then I went ahead and cut the 3 wires, and I left enough room so I could see what wire color was in what position on the headlight pigtail. I stripped back the 3 wires so I could butt connect them together. Cut off the end that I was not using on that adapter harness and stripped those wires back. Then used some butt connectors to put those wire connections back together. When making wire connections like this, you can use the insulated butt connectors. However, I feel a far more reliable and cleaner look is using uninsulated butt connectors and then putting heat shrink over the top of them. Now the reason these butt connectors look a lot cleaner is because after you do the repair, the harness is pretty much the exact same size that it was before doing the repair. Then once you put the heat shrink over the top of it, that accomplishes 2 things. One is it obviously keeps the uninsulated butt connectors from possibly touching each other and shorting out. The other thing it does is it gives that wire connection a waterproof seal and helps protect that wire connection from abrasion or possibly vibration, which could eventually cause a failure in the future. Now obviously, depending on whatever adapter harness comes with the headlights that you purchase, the wire colors might be different, but basically when matching these ones up, the blue wire from the adapter harness went to the red wire on the vehicle. The white wire from the adapter harness went to the purple with white wire on the Jeep. And then it was black to black from the vehicle to the adapter harness on the last wire. So there was one slight difference from the driver's side to the passenger side, which you just watched me do, is that the driver's side on the red wires, there was actually 2 wires going to the single pole on the headlight pigtail. And therefore, I just twisted those 2 wires together and butt connected them to the single blue wire on the adapter harness. Another thing I highly recommend is making sure you have a good pair of wire crimpers. I can't tell you how many times in the 25 plus years I've been in the mechanical industry that I've seen wire connections come apart at that butt connector that somebody has done and either didn't crimp it enough or just wasn't using a good enough set of pliers that couldn't make the crimp good enough. Once those connections were made, then I slid the heat shrink over the top of those butt connectors evenly on each side of the wire. So the recommended tool to shrink down the heat shrink tubing is usually a heat gun. However, with small projects like this, I usually just use a house lighter. When using a house lighter to shrink down the tubing, you just want to make sure you move it evenly across the heat shrink tubing. If you stay in one spot for too long, there is a chance that you will overheat that spot and it can split out. Once the heat shrink was done, I just moved the protective loom that was already over the factory harness back into place and then used some electrical tape to fill in the gap between the adapter harness loom and the vehicle harness loom. And then fed that pigtail harness back into place in the headlight holder. All that's left to do after that is go ahead and reinstall the headlights.
Take the headlight harness and plug it firmly into the vehicle harness by lining up the 3 spade connectors in the pigtail end. Now on the back of the headlights, there are raised tabs that fit in recessed areas to make sure that the headlight is timed appropriately in the headlight holder.
And because of the extended harness that comes on the back of these headlights, you will need to pull some of that harness through the back of the headlight holder as you go to install it. Once you have pushed the headlight into place, I do recommend trying to twist it because it should not rotate if you do have it in correctly. Verifying that you do have it lined up correctly with those recessed areas and the tabs on the headlight.
Then grab the headlight ring and line up the holes in the ring with the holes that are in the headlight holder and reinstall the 4 screws to hold it in place.
Then I duplicated that exact same process for the passenger side headlight. Now at this point, before putting the bezel back on, you do want to check that pattern on your garage door or wall to verify that those headlights are pointing the right direction. And the reason I say this is once you put the bezel on, it makes it a little bit more difficult to get to those adjusting screws. There are notched out areas in the headlight bezel. However, if anything's shifted, because these vehicles are getting pretty old, it just makes them more difficult to get to, and that's why I say go ahead and do this adjustment before you put the headlight bezel back on. Now, being as though I did have a good pattern on my garage door, I did not have to make this adjustment, and I didn't want to do it just to show you guys because once again, this is getting pretty old and I didn't want something stripping out or messing up while I was trying to show you. But the adjustment is pretty self-explanatory. In order to go up and down with your headlights, you're going to use this screw right here, and in order to go side to side, you will go in or out with this screw. And if these holders are the OEM original still, they should take that same T15 Torx. And as I said, you can get to them with the bezels on. I just think it's easier to do it with them off. So one thing I will say about these new headlights is they do go a lot wider, and it's stated that they do on the Amazon page. And one thing I am worried about is giving that glare to the people next to me in opposing traffic, because I know it pisses me off when it happens to me. However, it's not like I can really do anything about it because that is how they were made, and they do say they are DOT approved. Once you have your headlight pattern adjusted, then all that's left to do is go ahead and put those headlight bezels back in. These bezels do need to be timed correctly, so just pay attention to your screw holes with where they anchor into and line them up and then tighten them down. So that is going to wrap it up for this video, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and it gave you some good information. If so, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. The whole concept of my channel is to give you guys the most information in the least amount of time as possible so I don't waste your time. I hope to see you next time. Have a good one. Later.